In the vast ocean, salmon fishing is a laborious process that requires modern techniques combined with the experience of fishermen. Unlike salmon raised in coastal farms, wild-caught salmon often live in cold, deep and vast waters, especially in the North Pacific, near Alaska, Canada and some areas of Russia. Salmon fishing season usually falls between May and September, when salmon begin to migrate from the ocean back to the rivers to spawn. Specialized fishing vessels are equipped with modern positioning systems, fish-finding radar and large-sized trawl nets to track and surround schools of fish. When signs of salmon are detected, fishermen quickly drop purse seine or bottom trawl nets to catch the fish. The type of net used must be designed to suit the size of the salmon, avoid injuring the fish and protecting other marine life. The net collection process also requires skill and coordination so that the fish do not slip or get damaged. After being loaded onto the boat, the salmon will be pre-processed, quick frozen or stored in ice to keep it fresh until it returns to the mainland. Fishing for salmon in the middle of the ocean not only provides an important source of income for many coastal communities but also requires strict compliance with regulations on protecting aquatic resources to ensure sustainable development and balance of the marine ecosystem. In addition to modern techniques, weather factors also play an important role in the process of catching salmon in the middle of the ocean. The open sea always has unpredictable fluctuations such as big waves, storms, dense fog or deep drops in temperature, directly affecting the safety of fishermen as well as the efficiency of exploitation. Therefore, fishing vessels must constantly monitor meteorological forecasts and have specific plans before each trip. In addition, salmon fishing must also comply with strict regulations of fisheries management agencies, such as production limits, fishing time and types of fishing gear allowed to be used. These measures aim to prevent overexploitation, ensuring that salmon populations can grow and regenerate long-term in the wild. In many countries, the traceability of wild-caught salmon is also very important, from the time the fish are caught until they are distributed to the market, to ensure food hygiene and safety as well as to create trust for consumers. Fishing for salmon in the middle of the ocean is not only a profession, but also a symbol of the resilience, courage and love of the ocean of fishermen who stick to the sea day and night, bringing back valuable and nutritious food sources for people. Not just a simple exploitation activity. Catching salmon in the middle of the ocean is also closely associated with the cultural identity and long-standing traditions of many coastal communities. For people in Alaska, Canada or indigenous tribes living along the Pacific coast, salmon is not only an essential food source but also has a deep spiritual meaning. A symbol of life, regeneration and connection with nature. Therefore, they always try to maintain traditional fishing methods in a sustainable way, combined with modern science and technology to ensure efficiency and preserve this valuable resource. Currently, in the context of increasingly serious climate change and marine pollution, the number of wild salmon tends to decrease, making fishing more difficult. Many international organizations and governments have stepped in, proposing initiatives to protect the habitat of salmon. such as limiting the construction of dams blocking migration routes, controlling industrial wastewater discharged into the sea, or restoring rivers where salmon return to spawn. In this way, salmon fishing is not only a way to make a living but also a part of the global effort to protect the marine ecosystem and preserve aquatic resources for future generations. In general, the journey of catching salmon in the middle of the ocean is the crystallization of wisdom, experience, courage and responsibility to nature, a chain of persistent labor between humans and the vast ocean, where each salmon caught is a precious result of many silent but meaningful efforts. Behind every salmon catch in the middle of the ocean is a complex logistics and supply chain system, ensuring that the product is brought from the fishing boat to the consumer's table as quickly and safely as possible. After the fish are harvested, fishing boats often dock at large processing centers, where the fish are sorted by size, freshness and type. Here, a portion of the fish is processed on site into products such as fillets. Smoked fish, canned or frozen for export to major markets such as the United States, Japan and Europe. The remainder is distributed domestically, mainly to restaurants, supermarkets and high-end consumer areas. Thanks to its wild origin, salmon caught in the middle of the ocean is often appreciated for its meat quality, firmness, omega-3 content and distinctive flavor compared to farmed salmon. However, the cost of wild salmon is also significantly higher, reflecting the more complex labor, transportation and preservation costs. In order to maintain this industry in a stable and sustainable manner, many countries have also implemented programs to train fishermen in environmentally friendly fishing techniques, international standard fish preservation processes and raise awareness of marine resource conservation, not only stopping at the economic aspect. The development of the salmon fishing industry also contributes to creating jobs for tens of thousands of local workers, promoting the development of related industries such as shipbuilding, food processing, logistics, marine tourism and scientific research. In the future, along with the advancement of technology and changes in global awareness of sustainable development, salmon fishing in the middle of the ocean will certainly be increasingly optimized, becoming a symbol of harmony between humans and nature, between exploitation and conservation. This is not only a profession, but also a testament to the long and deep attachment between humans and the deep blue ocean. It is impossible not to mention the role of science and technology in supporting salmon fishing in the middle of the ocean more effectively and sustainably. Currently, many modern fishing boats have been equipped with sonar sensors, GPS positioning, underwater cameras and oceanographic data systems to help determine the location, density and movement direction of fish schools accurately. Thanks to that, fishermen can shorten search time, reduce fuel consumption and avoid unnecessary damage to other marine species. In addition, blockchain technology and QR codes are being widely applied in tracing the origin of salmon, from the place of fishing, harvest time, preservation method to processing and distribution, helping to increase transparency and create trust for global consumers. In addition, The combination of big data and artificial intelligence, AI, also opens up the possibility of more accurate predictions of salmon migration seasons, changes in ocean currents or the impact of water temperature on fish populations, thereby supporting managers and fishermen to make timely and correct decisions. In addition to exploitation, many organizations and research groups also invest heavily in the conservation of wild salmon, through monitoring spawning areas, restoring river ecosystems and protecting traditional fish migration routes. This is an essential effort to ensure that salmon fishing can continue for generations without depleting precious natural resources. In short, salmon fishing in the middle of the ocean is a complex activity, interwoven with manual labor, scientific knowledge, cultural identity and environmental protection responsibility. Despite many difficulties and challenges, with a spirit of perseverance, innovation and awareness of ocean conservation, humans can continue to reasonably exploit wild salmon, a fish symbolizing resilience and regeneration, as a precious gift that nature has graciously bestowed during the long journey of catching salmon in the middle of the ocean. Many fishermen not only consider this a job to make a living but also a source of pride. A heritage passed down through many generations. Stories about long trips at sea, overcoming storms, facing dangers and winning with experience. Courage and solidarity are always told as vivid history pages of the ocean. It is these silent people who have contributed significantly to maintaining the supply of high-quality salmon for millions of meals around the world, while preserving the traditional values of the fishing industry. Today, in addition to continuing to improve salmon catching and preservation techniques, many coastal communities also aim to develop experiential tourism associated with natural fishing. Visitors can follow the boat out to sea, witness the process of catching salmon, learn how fishing boats operate, learn how to distinguish wild salmon from farmed salmon, or enjoy fresh dishes right on the boat. This model not only helps raise public awareness of the marine industry but also creates additional income for fishermen. Promoting sustainable local economic development. Salmon fishing in the middle of the ocean, although a difficult profession, still carries within it a majestic beauty and cultural depth that is worthy of respect. It is the harmony between people and nature, between tradition and modernity, between exploitation and preservation. In the context of the world facing many environmental problems and resource depletion, maintaining responsible fishing activities like this is extremely necessary. It not only protects salmon resources but also preserves part of the identity of remote seas, where people still rely on the water day and night, cling to the sea to preserve life and place their trust in the vast ocean. Not only a simple production activity, salmon fishing in the middle of the ocean also plays a role as an important link in the chain of marine ecological balance. Salmon, with their unique migratory nature, born in rivers and streams, matured in the ocean, and then returned to their birthplace to spawn, are one of the most important contributors to maintaining nutrition in both freshwater and marine ecosystems. When salmon die after spawning, their bodies become a food source for wildlife such as bears, seabirds, and many other aquatic creatures. At the same time, the decomposing salmon carcasses provide nutrients to riverine plants, contributing to the survival of an entire ecological region. Therefore, controlling salmon fishing is not only to protect human production, but also to sustain the lives of many related links in the natural chain. Recognizing this importance, more and more countries are investing in co-management programs of fisheries resources, where fishermen, scientists, and local governments work together to monitor, research, and adjust fishing plans to suit natural fluctuations. Together, they determine when to close fishing, establish marine reserves, or switch to a more sustainable fishing method during lean seasons. This collaboration has helped many salmon stocks recover after a period of decline, while also helping to make the fishery more sustainable in the long term. Finally, public education and communication play a crucial role in protecting the salmon industry in the ocean. When consumers understand the difference between farmed and wild salmon, they will make more responsible purchasing choices, which will help promote sustainable fishing. Television programs, documentaries, awareness campaigns, and eco-certified products have helped connect urban dwellers with the arduous but humane journey of those who work day and night at sea. Thanks to that, the image of fishermen does not stop at boats far out at sea, but also becomes a symbol of perseverance, honesty, and the close relationship between humans and nature, a relationship that the modern world increasingly cherishes and needs to preserve. The development of the salmon fishing industry in the middle of the ocean also clearly reflects the transformation of many fishing communities from a traditional way of life to a modern economic model, but still based on a sustainable foundation. In many coastal areas such as Alaska, USA, British Columbia, Canada, or Hokkaido, Japan, people have learned to adapt to the changes of the times. They no longer depend only on human power and the experience passed down from their ancestors, but also actively learn, access new technology, improve fishing processes, and participate in the global market as masters of their lives. They build a brand for their local wild salmon, applying international standards for quality, hygiene, and clear origin. Helping salmon products become highly valued in the international market. On the other hand, many communities also actively participate in marine environmental protection initiatives such as cleaning up ocean trash, reducing the use of plastic on fish in vessels, participating in monitoring climate change, or supporting scientists in researching salmon populations and the effects of sea temperature on their reproductive habits. These activities not only have scientific and ecological significance, but also show a positive shift in awareness that economic benefits cannot be separated from the responsibility to protect the environment. Above all, the journey to catch salmon in the middle of the ocean is a vivid demonstration of the complex but hopeful relationship between humans and nature. Although the ocean is vast, the waves are constant, and challenges are ever present, people still find valuable opportunities in it, not only to make a living but also to affirm values, preserve heritage, and create the future. Salmon, a fish that swims upstream with great determination, is also a symbol for those fishermen far out at sea, strong, resilient and constantly moving forward. For life, for the community, and for an ever-blue ocean. Looking at it comprehensively, catching salmon in the middle of the ocean is not only a profession but also a closely intertwined cultural, economic, environmental ecosystem, in which each element contributes to shaping the identity and sustainable vitality of the sea. For many countries, salmon is not simply a high-value export item, but also an ecological ambassador reflecting people's commitment to nature. From a salmon caught in the cold water to its appearance on the consumer's table. It is a whole value chain that requires transparency, integrity and coordination between many stakeholders, from fishermen, businesses, managers, scientists to the final consumer. In the context of globalization, wild-caught salmon is increasingly asserting its distinct position compared to farmed salmon, not only because of its better meat quality or richer flavor, but also because people see in it the value of purity, of a pristine environment, and of sincere conservation efforts from communities living in harmony with nature. That is what makes ocean salmon sustainable and different, a value that cannot be copied by mere industrialization. The future of the salmon fishing industry will depend largely on how people treat the ocean today. If we can find a balance between exploitation and protection, between profit and ecological ethics, between technology and tradition, we can absolutely hope for a world where the salmon continue to return, where the ships continue to set sail, and where the stories of the sea and the people who depend on the sea continue to be told forever with pride. And above all, it will be a testament to a harmonious development model, where people not only take from the sea, but also know how to give back, with respect, preservation and deep love for the vast nature. Therefore, to maintain sustainable development of salmon fishing in the middle of the ocean, each individual, whether a fisherman, manager or consumer, plays a certain role in that value chain. Fishermen need to